Hey guys, this is Josh with JW Crates and the Judge by the Cover podcast. And before we jump into this episode, I want to take a few seconds and thank some people that made this special episode possible. First, I want to say a huge thank you to Trey and Wayne at Wavelength Studio. Trey got us all set up and handled all the audio and video recording for this episode. I love the community that they're building around music artists and podcasters. So if you're looking for a recording studio in Chattanooga to bring your podcast or music project to life, make sure you reach out to the guys at Wavelength Studio. You can find them at Wavelength Chat on Instagram. It's Wavelength Studio on Facebook. And hey, tell them that Josh sent you. Second, I want to say thanks to Michael with Chattanooga Podcast Studios and the Podnooga Network for handling all the editing on this episode. Chattanooga Podcast Studios is your premier podcast production agency in Chattanooga, catering to businesses looking to harness the power of podcasting. If you are an individual or a business looking to launch a podcast, breathe new life into an already started podcast, or really just want to know what podcasting is all about, reach out to Michael at chatpod.com. That's chat with two T's pod.com. Lastly, I want to say a huge thank you to the guests that came on and made this pro panel discussion a success. Make sure to check the post that's linked below to find links and bios for each of our guests, and make sure to go follow and support them. Now, let's jump into the special episode of the Judge by the Cover podcast. Have you heard the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? But that's what people do, right? We judge everything by outward appearances. In my experience, a great album cover can make or break the decision on whether I buy an album. So go on a journey with me as we look at some great album cover designs and talk about why I believe that you need a personal designer for your album artwork. This is Judged by the Cover. All right, welcome back to the Judged by the Cover podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Phil.
And you're going to notice if you're watching the video that we are in a different location than we normally are. We are hanging out with our good friends down at Wavelength Studios. Quick shout out to Trey. He's behind the glass there.
Love it.
And so we should also sound a lot better than we normally do, Phil.
Yeah, I think so, man. We're out of your basement, out of the dungeon.
Yeah, we're not in the basement studio. So today we've actually got a really fun podcast. And I can't take all the credit for this because it was actually somebody else's idea. One of the gentlemen sitting on the panel here, who I'm going to introduce in a second. But what we got going on today is we are going to be, we've got a pro panel here, and we're going to be judging cover art. Judged by the cover.
Judged by the
it's
cover.
Built into the name or something.
Back to your roots, right? Back to the roots of the show.
And so what we're doing is we're really just trying to get some different opinions on cover art and just wanting to see kind of how widely it's going to vary in opinion. We'll see. I hope I didn't take it too easy. There's some really cool covers in here. I hope you guys think they're cool. Otherwise, I didn't design them, so that's fine. But as I said, this wasn't my idea. I actually have to thank Brent for this idea. It was actually November of last year. Dang. Can you believe it was that long ago?
That's crazy.
I get a text message from Brent, and he said, hey, I've got this cool idea for a podcast, but the only way that you can use this idea is if I get to be on the panel. So congratulations, you're here.
Here we are.
We've made it.
Here we are, baby.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. Yeah.
Exactly how you do that.
So Brent, give us kind of the quick, who are you? What do you do? Why are you here other than bribing the host?
Fair. So my name's Brent. I've known Josh for, I don't even know.
Over
at
6
least
years, or about 6.
5-6 years, something like that. We go to the same church together. Actually, Phil goes there as well. So for most of the past decade, I've been a music producer at Backbeat Sound Design. It's a recording studio in Hickson. It is no longer open to the public, so that was kind of my adventure and like my primary gig for most of the last decade, but kind of transitioned a couple years ago. My wife and I had a baby, and babies take a lot of time, so and I also work full-time at C4 Church in Hickson, so I needed to make some space in my schedule, so I kind of put the studio on the back burner and turned it more into like a hobby game than anything. But I still love producing music and still love just about everything about the music industry. So really excited to be here and to give some ranks to some album covers.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for being here. And I guess I'm just going to go down the table here. So next we've got Iggy. Iggy, tell us who you are, what you do.
What up? I'm Iggy. I have a local Chattanooga podcast here called Iggy's Loudmouth Podcast. As you would guess by the name, Loudmouth, I am known for my opinions.
Come on, bring it.
Perfect panelist.
Yeah, this is right down my alley. No, I'm excited, man, and I met these guys through mutual contacts and some networking events, and the whole idea of just rating album covers is cool to me. I'm part of my podcast is talking about music. I do a Let's Talk Culture Sunday, every Sunday evening talk, and we talk about music. So I'm really heavy on music and big on cover arts. Usually cover arts lets me know if I'm about to get something fire or something whack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on,
That's it.
Come on,
Judge by the cover.
You guys can check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Iggy's Loud My Podcast, but I'm excited to be on the panel.
Yeah, and also a fellow member of the Podnuga Network.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
come on,
sir.
come
Yes,
on.
sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Got to give them a shout out.
Family,
yeah.
Podnuga.
Yeah,
Podnuga
shout out to Michael, Podnuga Network.
Absolutely.
Come on. All right, next we got Finding Zero.
Yeah, my name is Finding Zero. I'm an artist from Chat. I do a little bit of everything in my music, so I've done hip hop. I've done a little bit of pop here and there. I got some indie coming out soon. I recently just dropped a new album called No More Sub. I dropped that in February of 2024. And last Friday, I actually dropped a new music video called Come Find Me on all platforms. Who Shot Jimmy shot the video, so shout out to Jimmy. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I didn't really know what to expect, but this is a cool panel and a cool show, so I'm glad y'all tuned in and keep watching.
Yeah, come on, come on. All right, next we got Sydney.
Hey, I'm Sydney Garrett. I am part of the band In the Company of Wolves, and I also run a nonprofit called Be the Change Youth Initiative to focus on mental health advocacy and youth empowerment. And a little bit about the band, I do it with my brother, which I guess makes sense to introduce Brayden too.
Yeah, come on.
My name is Brayden Gretz. I am the other half of Incoming Wolves. But yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I've always watched like different episodes or shows that kind of have the same concept of what we're doing here today, but I've never been a part of it. So
Cool.
I'm super excited.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm excited to have all you guys here. I'm really excited to hear different perspectives and stuff like that. So just for the people at home, I just told these guys, but so we're doing a little blind judging of album covers, and even though some of them asked for some information ahead of time, I did not give them any albums or what we were talking about. They're all kind of seeing these today, and so yeah, am I missing anything, Phil?
Who asked for advance information?
Guilty.
Oh, man.
I wasn't going to throw him under the bus, but it was Brent.
I mean, I figured if it was my idea that I should get a leg up on everybody else, right?
That's like cheating, though.
And so it's going to be really simple. I've just asked them, once we show them the album covers, just to give it a rating between 1 and 10, to tell us what they think the music genre or maybe what the music sounds like. After everybody kind of gives their opinions, what they like, what they don't like, they are going to have a chance to hear what the music actually sounds like. You won't because of copyright, but it should be a pretty fun show. So y'all ready?
Yeah,
Let's do it.
All right, so I've got my Vanna White here, Mr. Phil Highland. He's going to be showing you guys the first album, and so there's not awkward silence. I am going to give you guys some info.
All right. So can we touch it?
You can, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the rule? Open it. Oh,
So cover art is done by an American artist. His name is John Brosio. I think that's how you say it. And this piece, the name for the piece, when it was originally drawn, is called Ecstasy in the Desert. And you probably will see why when you see
That
the cover.
explains a lot right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And so this guy, in his art, he uses a lot of like figurines. He does like some very surreal, like dystopian art pieces. He does these really cool tornado pieces. And then his other thing is these animals or creatures that are like really large in situations where they're like destroying a town like Godzilla or something like that. They're really pretty cool. He actually also did the cover art for this artist on his first album.
Is he a painter, too? Like on this particular one we're looking at, did he paint that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
it looks like
I think it's
painting.
oil paint on canvas, I think is
So he's
the
a
medium.
legit artist.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I couldn't really find a ton about him, and his bio was really hard to read. Us creatives can be kind of a fun bunch when it comes to stuff like that. So, y'all, do you have scores in your mind on the cover? And
Are we
maybe
supposed to do score and genre at the same time? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it up here so you can all kind of still look at it. Take your time. But...
I think good. Thank you.
Now, for the artist, you probably you may have saw his name. You may know his father. So this artist, his initials are WVH. His father's initials are EVH. I don't know if that rings a bell. Famous.
For a hit, you want to give them a hint song of their hit?
Ooh, yeah. What do you got?
They're famous for a song called Jump from the 80s. Wow. Okay. We were just talking about Wheel of Fortune and anyway, there's clearly a generational disconnect happening here. Okay. Sydney, where were you in the 80s?
Not born.
Okay.
In the 90s, not born.
How did you get on this panel?
Hey, that's good.
This is going to be fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. Anybody want to volunteer to go first and give us your score and your opinions? And if you want to look at it too while you're talking about it,
I'll bring
I
it
can
back
have
to you.
Phil bring it to you.
I think the person who tried to get the answer should go first.
Ooh.
All right. So I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
I hope it was on a scale of 1 to 10, because if it was 5,
Yeah,
then I way overshot.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll talk about why in a minute, but I said like rock, kind of like on the heavier side, not really going like metal, but just, pretty riff driven, like rocky sound. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Of anybody, I figured
Sensei.
you would probably know who this is.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Which that may have gone into, but it took me a minute. I had that in my head before it clicked on who it is. So,
Josh, that's so
anyway,
unprofessional.
I gave it an 8 just because I think it has a lot of really cool and subtle elements in it, and it comes across as something that I'm just like, I wonder what that is, rather than like it looks like all the other covers on the market. So,
yeah.
And then I'm a big font person, so I really like in the midst of like the hand drawn look, just the really clean, neat looking font really stands out to me and catches your eye. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Iggy.
Going down the line.
Perfect.
Going down the line, guys.
I gave it a 7.
Okay. Yeah.
And I said more rock alternative.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say full heavy, just because the album cover to me kind of gives a trippy vibe.
Yeah.
So I feel like heavy would take me out of my trip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I'm trying to- if
Alternative, you're
if
still
I'm-
in the trip.
I'm still in it, right?
Yeah.
He going crazy on the guitar. I'm just like,
Hey,
and then you see it on the cover. You see the fireworks. It's very, it's chaotic, but it's also very organized, which is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when y'all were talking about the actual painting in the back, I took that into consideration for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's very good. I think it definitely, allows you to wonder what you're about to be listening to.
Yeah.
And which is I think that's the goal of what he's going for, I think. So
Yeah.
that's my rating, 7 for sure.
Come on.
All right, so I gave him a 6.
Okay.
All right.
Now, I will say I did like the versatility of the cover. Like the front side is different from the middle and the back side. I would say the front side did remind me of like rock, just because I get like a really chill guitar mellow. Like when I hear guitars, I kind of think of like a ska like that, like really split colors, bright colors can go in the dark. And I like the little accent of fireworks, could be like a little guitar solo or something like that.
Come on.
Then the back side did give me that like, all right, we're gonna get a little crazy with it. just like that. And then the middle, I did like the middle. The middle is very vibrant, very colorful, and it's him. So it's kind of like we get to see who he actually is.
Yeah.
And then I did like the little tattoo, that little M. Was that an M? That's like 3 lines, but
Yeah.
I gave him a 6, but I did like how versatile it was all the way around. Like I don't know what I'm gonna get. Like I might get 3 different pieces, you know.
So no guess on who you think this is?
Oh no, I don't know who that is. No.
Okay. Cool.
I wouldn't be able to also give a guess on who it is, but I did 7 alt rock.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I put a 7 because I think for me, I love having consistency. And so the fact that it's like the painting in the front and then it's photographs in the back, But at the same time, I also really love that because it gives that alt rock vibe where you never know what you're going to expect, and there's something new within like each of the songs. And I honestly really do love that. So that's why I was like, it's going to give a 7. I feel like a 7's a good number.
Yeah, lucky 7.
I'm stuck between 8 and 7, honestly.
There you go.
I also put 6 rock.
Okay.
So mine was like your answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I like what you said. It's, to me, chaotically organized. But yeah, so when I look at the front page there are a lot of different things that are happening, from the skeleton to the fireworks to that other piece on the side.
Are you talking over
yeah,
here, these guys?
The left side, yeah.
Yeah.
That
I can't
trippy
even tell.
merry-go-round with
It's crazy. That's why I'm like, I'm in trip mode.
That gets a little
if I'm
weird.
seeing that, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. But I'm pretty sure like if I listened to his album and listened to his songs, I'd probably be able to understand it more. But yeah, so I think 6 was a good number for me. But
I'm really surprised nobody talked about the coyotes that are running in the background here.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
really mischievous. I like those guys.
Part of me wants to know if like all of them symbolize a song on the record because I love like symbolism, and so it would be really cool if that was the case, if each thing tied into, because it looks like a mess.
If that is the
in the
case,
front,
then I'd like to change my number and raise it.
well, right, that's what I'm saying.
Mine would
Anytime
go
I've
up
seen a
to-
cover
Yeah,
that
it's
does
just
that,
so
that
cool.
actually like incorporates the
That'll be
songs,
dope.
like you know that a lot of time and effort went into the creation of that. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah. Cool. Any other last thoughts? Any guesses on
Anybody?
No
Van
one
Halen.
yes.
Correct.
So
Can't remember his
the
first name though.
the famous father is Eddie Van Halen. Revolutionized. Man, speaking's hard. How you play guitar. This is Wolfgang Van Halen, his son.
Okay.
And you guys ready to hear what it actually sounds like?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It better be rock since we all
Nah.
said rock.
And another thing about his father, Eddie played the lead guitar part on Michael Jackson's "Beat It."
wow.
No kidding.
And didn't
Quincy
get paid
Jones
for it.
called him in and said, "I need you to create a lead part for this song that MJ's doing called "Beat It."
Oh my
Rest is
One of the most iconic guitar riffs.
Now I know why you were upset. We didn't know that was Van Halen. I'm just not deep in that catalog like that. But
Now, am I wrong in saying he didn't get paid for that?
I think he might be right. Like
What?
Quincy just called him in. If you get
the 80s was different.
if you listen to the expanded Michael Jackson, it's got the Quincy Jones interview tapes on it for like "Beat It." It's on Thriller actually.
Yeah,
He goes deep into these stories. It's worth looking at. But I think Eddie just came in for the night.
And I think he was drunk out of his mind and like laid down this
Man, that
crazy
guitar solo
and
was
Wow.
forgot he did it.
Unbelievable.
rest is history.
I think is how the
wouldn't even
story
be
goes.
surprised.
Don't quote me on
He
that.
probably didn't need the money anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he needed the dough.
I would have wanted it though, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, the royalties on
Do you
Michael Jackson
understand me?
album, and
yeah.
And another really
Looking
cool
back on that like, damn.
Another really cool callback on this is Eddie Van Halen. His first band was called Mammoth in 1978 when he got started. So
love that.
yeah, so it's a cool callback to his dad.
That's really cool.
And I know this is going to go on for Wolfgang's mother is Valerie Bertinelli from a hit TV show called what was that show called? Oh, somebody's gonna Trey. You're gonna have to fact check me. Valerie Bertinelli's TV show hit, not Facts of Life. That was with Tootie. But anyway, it's just crazy. Like this is the son of Eddie and Valerie.
Yeah.
So
All right, so let's play you a couple.
let's listen.
We won't listen to full song, but I'm gonna give you a couple of them off of this album.
Already. Yeah.
Feel a little smart.
I like the reactions. Iggy's like, what?
No, I'm just taking it in, trying to see if I was right.
The cowbell.
More cowbell.
So
Okay.
the name of this song is Another Celebration at the End of the World. So it kind of does tie in with the fireworks and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I don't believe that all the imagery ties to songs.
Okay.
I don't believe so anyway. The other one too, and I'm really going to try and find, I don't know if y'all are guitar people or appreciate like great guitar work. I should have found out what the timestamp is on it, but this song has probably one of the best solos on it of what he has put out, and it is pretty stellar.
I like this already. This is cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's crazy.
Damn, I like this.
Get to it.
Yeah. He just played Chattanooga
Yeah.
Are you
Really?
kidding? What?
at the Signal.
That's where I got this.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's where
Yeah.
you got this.
Dang. I wish we would have done this
the
sooner.
merch. Josh bought the merch.
I wish. Oh my god.
Album.
Yeah. I wish we would have filmed it sooner
Right.
so that
He
I
went
could
to
have
work. He going to
known.
work.
Man, that must have been amazing to see.
Dang.
I feel like I'm about to listen to this
Yeah,
album
he
on the
going
way
to
home
work.
tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun to like. This isn't my genre. Like, I don't normally gravitate to this kind of sound, but it's kind of like, yeah, man, it's like I want to rock a little
I like
bit,
it.
you know?
It's a little bit past alternative for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not totally. It's not like it's not hard. You know what I mean? It's still listen. It's not.
It
like
fits in
heavy.
that like I call it radio rock. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
really like the genre that
I was about
falls
to
into.
say.
It's a little heavier, but
The vocals had a little more like pop in them than what I expected.
Yeah, I
which
thought
is
it.
not
I
a problem.
Yeah, I
But
thought it was gonna be.
I just expected it to be a little more like angry sounding vocally.
yeah.
And I think there's a little more intrigue too. Like, he comes from such great stock. His father's Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Just guitar god. And Eddie, rest in peace. He died, I think, from cancer a few years ago.
something.
It's just cool to see like, a daughter or a son carry the torch.
Yeah.
for sure.
And I ain't gonna bore you with all the details, but he actually plays all the instruments. So he does the drums, he plays bass, guitar.
That's
he
not
sings.
boring.
Yes.
Boring
Oh
with
my
the
God.
details. That's not boring with the details.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's really crazy. I saw they were interviewing his drummer, and they were asking him about a song about a specific part, and he's like, "You need to get Wolf in here." He's like, "I can't play it," and so he came in and he played it. It was pretty.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. Anyway, so that's Mammoth 2 Celebration at the End of the World, I think is what the technical name of the album is.
That's cool.
Talk about a lot of pressure for your touring band to come in and like learn all the parts that the one guy
Yeah.
did all of it himself. And it's like,
Yeah.
he's gonna know if you missed anything. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The
of
cool
pressure.
thing is, I mean, he's just like, he's the classic creative too, man. He's just like, he's super chill too. Like, I don't think he's letting like the name or anything like that go to his head.
Then see, I mean, based off it seems like he's doing it in his own way.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, he's kind of paving his own path. There've been a lot
so,
of
I mean-
criticism. Like, everybody's like, you're writing your dad's name and stuff like that, but he's really not, man. He's
I
just
don't
like,
think he sound wise at all. To
No.
me. You know what I mean? It kind of separating to me. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and his mom was on the hit show One Day at a Time. My goodness, it was probably the late 70s, early 80s. But don't forget his mom, Valerie Bertinelli. Are you ready for this?
I am.
Are you all ready for the number two?
all right.
Do it.
Let's
Come
go.
on,
Number
man.
two, let's
Round
go.
two, y'all.
That first round was good.
Are you gonna take it over and let them see it? So this one.
We'll let it marinate, and then I'll pass it to Brent, and we'll go down the line.
So on this one, open this thing up and pull the sleeves out. There is some crazy stuff going on this. This also, well, I'm not gonna give that away. This one was really really cool in how the process that the artist did to get that look. So the artist that did this, his artist name is Stanley Donwood. He's from Britain. He's an English artist. He's also a writer as well. He has been working with this band since '94. He does all their album covers, and on this album specifically, the recording studio had it's like a barn basically, but it had speakers in the barn that are hooked up to where the band is recording. And so while they're like recording this album, the singer's in there like laying down a track, they're playing the bass and stuff like that. He's painting is what he's doing during this whole process. Let me see what other notes I got.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I mean, neither.
Can you imagine like hiring an artist while you're doing a session or you're doing a session, any one of you guys are creating and you got some person painting?
No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We've done some shows like that.
Really?
Where we play live and there's been a painter in the background, like painting to us singing into the songs. Yeah.
It's very neat.
Julia Whitworth, she's amazing. She's done that.
Would you ever use her work on any of your cover?
We have.
Oh, you have?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
for 11, we used her. Yeah. And it's amazing.
So for the cover shot and probably some of the other panels, how they got that effect was, and I forget what the surface was, but they put water and enamel paint down and then put it outside, and the elements like rain and stuff like that is what created those super organic shapes. And then they transferred that to canvas. I'm not 100% sure how that process worked to get that, but you get these really cool like organic shapes and stuff like that. I hope I'm not
Did they go to school together, these two?
Yeah, they met at university.
University,
Yeah,
yes.
I think that's how the Brits say it, right?
That's like elementary school. Yeah, it's like you're in elementary school, but they call it university. Iggy got that. It's the Brits, man. The Brits are weird. Yeah.
I thought this was judged by the cover. We're looking at all the art. Not
Yeah. Well, technically, they're all covers.
I was about to say, I look through when I do covers. I look it's called front and back cover.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
Okay.
That's how I do.
On the first one, I only looked at the cover and I passed it on. Somebody else is just like, I like how all the different pieces like went, and like I didn't even look at the pieces.
Sorry.
It's fine.
We'll do better with our ruling breakdown.
It was your idea, man.
Yeah, it's your idea.
I mean, I told them covers, so I don't know. We should have taken time to define what cover.
Yeah, we probably
Cover singular or plural? What is it?
This is our first time doing this, so we'll tighten up the rules on the next one.
What kind of game show is this?
Cool. Anybody, or I guess does everybody have scores down? I'm trying to think if I've got any other info here. This was the 9th studio album by this band, and it 2016. All right. Anybody else want to go first this time? Anybody feel?
Brayden, we'll start with you.
It's fair.
The last one to see it.
Okay. So this is my score.
Okay.
Wow, come on.
I am a huge fan of that cover art just because I've seen or I listen to a lot of artists that have similar cover art. So when I see that, it just reminds me of them. And I'm like super drawn to that with it's very like abstract, or at least a lot of the pieces are. And I just love that. It's like you can tell that they poured a lot of their emotions into it. But yeah, and I think, I could totally be wrong. But I think it's like somewhat folk, maybe.
Okay.
I was either getting that or a different one, but I went with this. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on your expression, that's
Did
wrong.
you not see
but
the
okay.
name on the question?
I was looking at the art, not the name.
It's called judged by the cover, not by the name.
Yeah.
Well, I was immediately
cheating.
drawn to the name. You really did not look. That's crazy. Okay, Brayden was really like, nah, I'm gonna follow the rules.
We can tell who the rule followers are.
Right. Well, it's funny. It's normally me.
You.
Person doing it with your sibling. I did 9.
Wow, okay.
Rock. I really love everything about the artwork and the cover. I love the similarity between all the pieces, but yeah, at the same time, it like adds a different dimension when you add like the sketches of like the human face or like the outskirts, like the symmetry of like the human bodies, and like within all of those different covers. I mean, and I think
let the people see
the band does a really good job with all of their covers, being like, I don't know, they tell a story with every single piece that they have. And I think as someone who really looks up to them, I immediately was like, yeah, I know what this is. Yeah, it's just, it's so cool. I just love all of it. That's why I was like a 9.
Inside, like they.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even look inside.
Oh wow.
That was part of my analysis. Okay.
And a quick shout out to Ben at Yellow Racket Records, because he recommended a different Radiohead cover, but well, you guys probably should have seen it anyway. And it was cool. It really was cool. But like seriously, like right behind it was this one, and I pulled out. I was like, what is this? So shout out to Ben, Yellow Racket Records.
All right, so I gave mine an 8, and I said I thought it was alternative or indie. I don't know, the colors and then like the vibrance of it. It gives me like, I'm like overthinking about something, and then like the vibrant side is like, all right, I'm progressing a little bit. And then I didn't see the inside of the sleeves, like that little jazzy kind of chill, mellow blue, which is kind of like, all right, I'm overcoming this, and then boom, a lot of colors. So I had to go with alternative indie, but I gave it an 8 because I like how it looks. I didn't even realize it was a face until y'all put it over there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Dude, I love that. Like you're like looking into the colors and stuff like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like just any kind of music, and then like the different colors and like the shapes. I'm like, yeah, either they going through something or they didn't overcame something or something.
Yeah.
Like a little progression.
Wow.
That'll come up in a second. But,
Sure.
I gave it a 9.
okay.
And I said it was pop rock. I don't really mean, I guess soft rock. I don't know. Just like a softer rock is what I'm really
Interesting.
saying about it.
Yeah.
Radiohead, I'm kind of familiar with them, but I definitely appreciated the title of the album because it matched the theme of the cover. 100%. Once I got that, because when I first saw it, I was like, okay, what is this? And then I see the name, okay, that gives me an idea. As I'm opening it, I'm seeing like it's fully detailed in this idea of like a moon-shaped pool. You know what I mean? Like the elements of the moon and then the elements of a pool is very freeing. And then I saw the inside of the sleeves, and I was like, the detail to even do that. I'm really big about detail, especially on stuff like that. So when I saw the detail, the colors inside and the colors on the outside, and like, even, I know you saw the human faces. I saw the alien bodies. I was like, these are aliens. You put a sleeve out, it's like aliens in the pool.
Yeah, they do look like aliens. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. So moon, the whole moon, it kind of follows through, and it seems like they put a lot of time and effort into making sure that cover had details all around it, stuff you may not even realize you're missing. You see it, and that's awesome to me, and that's why it gets a 9 from Iggy.
Come on.
Nice.
I feel prejudged for my judging of this cover because I went first and I wrote down my number, and then I like peeked over as everybody else wrote theirs down, and I'm just like, oh, everybody loves this. I just don't love it.
Hey,
so
come on.
I gave it a 4.
Okay.
Holy
Sorry.
A 4. Let's hear it.
Please apologize.
Yeah, before we started, he asked, should we let our personal bias into this?
Yeah.
So I just am not a fan of abstract stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
So-
everyone is.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is that if you would have if we rewind 15 years, I probably would have given it an 11 because I was all about stuff that looked just like this. And I've just kind of grown out of it. And it's not that I don't appreciate like the attention to detail and everything that went into it. I've just, when I look at it, it doesn't.
Each part of it is different.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It just doesn't grab my attention. It doesn't make me want to go listen to it. Yeah. So I think everybody's at least heard the band name Radiohead, but I could not name a single one of their songs. So that's probably really bad, being a music producer and not being able to tell you like, what does Radiohead sound like? I don't know. So I said alternative, and that's all I got.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, that shows like the breadth of like the music, right? Because you know the name Radiohead, but it's like, I don't know if I could.
Well,
so you
their
can name a song.
breakout was Creep. When they broke in the U.S., they did a van tour, And the big radio hit in the U.S. was Creep. 'Cause I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo.
Got it.
What am I doing here? I don't belong here. So check it out if you're interested in the origin story of Radiohead.
Yes, so this is Radiohead, a moon-shaped pool. This did not sound anything like I thought it was going to sound, but I will say, I think I've got a couple of songs here because it's a weird album.
I think Trey likes it. I wonder if Trey likes the artwork.
We need to have a producer, Mike.
He gave it a 7. He gave it a 7. He just judged the cover.
Give it a 7.
There's like interesting like production stuff, I feel like, but
It matches what I see.
Yeah.
I was about to say that. I get black and white vibes when I hear this.
yeah. And it was interesting that you said it feels like they're going through something. If I remember right what I read, this was after the lead singer went through his divorce, is where he wrote a lot of this
That makes
material.
sense.
Yeah.
I know what that's like, so I feel that.
That's what I'm saying.
And you know, a band at this level, they're artists, and I think they have the liberty to express themselves. You know, Artie, sometimes being an artist, you're a little weird, and you're going to experiment and break out of your traditional sound.
If you're on your 11th album, you can do whatever
this-
that
You can do it.
I was about to say, this is how many is this? This is a lot.
I think this was 9.
9. Yeah, they up. They
OK
rolling.
Computer was their big breakout.
All right. So did that sound kind of like what we were expecting it to sound like?
Yep.
Yeah.
At least that page.
I was thinking softer. You know, it's kind of a vibey rock.
Yeah. I mean, when you said soft, I was like, yeah. I mean, I can.
And here's
see
the
that.
funny thing, because they are labeled as a British rock band, and I'm like, I don't get rock out of that. But it's like rock is such a wide genre. It can be kind of this kind of soundscapey stuff, and it can also be what we just heard with Mammoth,
And art rock. I mean, there's art rock.
art rock.
That's from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Phil is in the 80s tonight, man.
Well, it definitely.
I'll drop a little time bomb on you. I graduated high school in 1987.
I was born in 1987.
I wasn't
I
born
don't
in
think I was thought of it.
1987.
The 80s were the best ever because there was no internet. No one knew where the hell I was. It was all good. There ain't no pictures. There ain't no digital footprint. You got nothing on that.
You're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
Y'all ready for this one?
All right, we ready for
Bring it
number 3?
on.
All right. So number 3.
Okay.
Oh man.
I'll pass it around.
So
I know who
this
this
one-
is. I know who this is.
Okay.
This is one that you're going to want to see up close because the detail is really cool in this one. But kind of get your
Whoa.
Isn't that cool?
Oh my goodness.
So this one was hard because I tried to find information on the designer, and there was like nothing. There was nothing on the internet. Now, this
not ready for that.
there is a sleeve missing, so there will be just kind of a loose.
Pull out the vinyl, too.
Yeah, there was just nothing on the internet. Now, this came out in 2008. That'll be important in a minute because I listened to this album this morning, and I felt like I was like teleported back to 2008.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
2008, the real estate bubble, right? Boom. Blew up.
Y'all know about that, right?
All right. Where were you guys in 2000? Tell me you were at least born. Were you alive in 2008?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Context. I was born in 2001,
Okay.
2004.
Babies down there.
Still,
yeah, I totally
still
remember what you guys were
babies.
talking about.
I was not ready for the picture on the inside.
This will probably be one of those that there'll just be like, doo, 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 doo. Yeah, there was just nothing really. There was nothing really. The only thing I will say is that, well, I won't ruin it for everybody. I'll let everybody look at it, and then I'll give you some of the details.
That's fire.
Isn't it crazy? Like everything's so digital now. Like, we're on Spotify. You're all artists. Your music's on Spotify. Do you think you'll make vinyl? Have you ever made vinyl?
We're planning on making vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because I feel like it's
getting there.
It's definitely getting there. Yeah.
And
Not
there's
so much
something
CDs
about
anymore, but
having that like something physical.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Plus, it just adds a different element instead of having like CDs. I feel like, I don't know, there's something about it. It just adds more of like an intimate, like very, I don't know, familial feel to it.
Yeah, I would definitely do it for mine too.
Yeah.
I think it's just like really versatile. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, depending on the genre, they still do it. So like, I guess you could say like popularizing their genre. But like when you go to rap and hip hop, it's like some artists would do it, some won't. So I'm gonna definitely be one of those artists that try to do that.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
it's expensive and the turnaround times are crazy.
That's
but
true.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's definitely cool.
It's your legacy,
People are
though.
buying vinyls.
Yeah, I mean,
I was about to say, I think it's coming back a little bit.
And it's only growing. Honestly, it's like slowing down.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to a show. I bought a $40 vinyl.
People buying vinyls.
Yeah, I mean,
I've one of the local bands here, Call Me Spencer. They do vinyls.
do they?
Yeah,
I can see that.
And they sell. You know what I mean? It's people buying them. I think they have theirs actually in a yellow racket.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
They had a listening
a listening
show
party.
or a listening party there pretty recently.
Vinyl sell, man.
The people want to go home. Like if they see your show or your show, they want to take something home. And I don't think CDs pack the same punch.
No,
They never
vinyl.
did. I just think we were in that time where they was.
Yeah, that was the only. So, because we do live in a world that you can put it there, that's fine. We live in such a digital world where everything's just done in Photoshop and stuff like that. This was actually done like this artist took pieces of paper and money and stuff like that and actually like laid this out, like actually created it. Like this is the stuff that got me like wanting to do cover art because like that's crazy that someone would spend the time and do something like that. Like the physical nature behind it is awesome.
Yeah, the
Had to
detail.
have been hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, days.
Oh yeah, days, weeks maybe.
Yeah.
But I love it that bands, you guys as musicians, typically you're going to hire an artist, whether it's your friend or somebody you know that you've reached out to. So there's that collaboration, which it's just so cool in the arts, man. You got music and art all day long.
Yeah.
I agree.
So who wants to go first? I know Iggy was pretty excited when he saw it.
Yeah, I know
Let's go.
I know it. I know who this
Kick
is.
it off. Kick it off.
So I gave it a 8.
Okay.
I think the reason why it's not a higher because this album was made when vinyls wasn't thought about. It was, I think the idea of the cover was for like a CD and so I think some of it would kind of lack in detail as it got past the cover. But as far as I know, I knew already knew some of that detail already.
Yeah.
So like as far as it's called Paper Trails, the album. So in each there's an individual type of paper, not necessarily just paper, but type of paper in each one of those.
Bam.
Do you want this seat
that
right here?
that creates that, and it creates the artist's face. And so I have personal, history with this album. That's one of my favorite artists. He kind of got me into listening to hip hop.
Dude, come on.
Wow.
Which is this genre is hip hop, by the way, rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
So I'll let everybody else give their take, and then we'll go from there. But
That's
this
strong.
is a classic album. If y'all don't know it, check it out.
Dude, I forgot like how many like hits.
Yeah,
Over
this came out. He was about to go to jail before this. Not to get into the whole thing. I don't know if so this artist was about to go to jail at the time for some things he had on him, and so this was the album before he went to jail, and like you could tell, you know what I mean? There was a lot of put into it, and it's hits. It starts out heavy, and it just carries the whole way through, and it's very personal too. It's a lot of personal stuff in there, but anyways, yes.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Yeah, come on.
I gave it a 9 just because this is one of my early influences as a kid. I will say, waking up on MTV Jams, watching music videos. Definitely was watching his music videos, so I seen that picture before on the vinyl. But I gave it, I said rap and hip hop, and I said early trap. Like this around the time, like Jeezy, Gucci, and all them was just in your ear every day. And then T.I. came. And then the good thing about T.I. on this album is when he made that song with Justin Timberlake, and you kind of see like his range and versatility. It's like, oh, okay, like you on this type of song? Like he over here singing with you, and it's not just a trap beat. Or it is a very personal album, so I know he talking about his experiences, but he showed a little range. And then the cover art is exceptional, like different pieces of paper trail the album name. So I think I just gave it a 9 just because of like the all around effect. Like this is like one of the first pieces we done seen where you can really see the message on the cover completely. So
yeah.
Hip hop 8.
Yeah, hip hop 8. Come on.
Hip hop 8. The fact, I mean, now knowing that it's all different individual pieces of paper is insane. I think even if the difference of like having that artwork in the front and then you have the photograph of him in the back half of the cover, like even though those are two different art forms, there's like a very common color scheme within all of it, and I think like having that consistency is really cool, and you get like a lot of the storytelling driven, because like part of me wants to know like what are all those pieces of paper and do they all symbolize something different, you know what I mean, like whether it's like a part of his story or other people who collaborative on this record, like part of their story, like, you know, like what's telling something, because like when I look to different like cover art, everything I feel like for me, like does it symbolize anything, like does it symbolize something for this artist, and I think that's what's really cool is you see a lot of that, like all these questions pop up within that aspect, so that's really neat.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, mine was a hip hop 9.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Strong.
I just love the like design, how there's so many different pieces that are creating one bigger picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I always loved seeing like art made out of just those different pieces, and there's like a huge story behind all of that. And like you were saying, like each individual piece like probably has their own like meaning. And I think that's really cool. So yeah, I gave it a 9 because it's super neat, and yeah, I love the design.
Cool. Solid.
I gave it an 8. Also said
Wow.
So yeah, it's a very. I like held it sideways.
We get it.
Yeah, it still looks like an 8.
I gave it infinity.
Yeah. Hey.
That's a verse.
No, I think maybe the thing that everybody kind of already said a lot of really good stuff about it, but like thinking about how you literally could make that in Photoshop.
Yeah.
But like someone took the time to actually piece it together and like take a photo of it instead of making it digitally. That changes. And like when you look at it, you can tell the difference in that, because if you did it in Photoshop, it would be fine, but you'd be able to tell that it was done that way.
Yep.
So that really stands out to me, and based on that, I wanted to give it a 9, and then I pulled out the sleeve in the middle of that dude in the barbershop photo, and I'm just like, that just took me out of it. I did not care for that, so it lost the point because of that.
Loved that. It adds such a like intentional touch,
like
to
a very
it.
personal.
It's personal.
I agree with that, but it just like after looking at the cover, I was just like, that just doesn't feel like it.
I think you know, I will say this, and
like
I'll speak to T.I. a little bit for this. I think once you listen to the album, you'll get that.
I understand it. Yeah, that's fair.
I think if you're first pulling it out, trying to figure it out, you're like, dang, all right, well, obviously this is like hip hop, but it doesn't really match the paper trail theme. Mm-hmm. But I think when you listen to the album, you hear some of the personal stuff. When you pull that out, you're gonna be like, all right, I see it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's just listening to you guys critique and rate. I want to dig into this album because I don't know this album, and it's funny just classic even doing a show album like this. You just want to get into it now.
Yeah. It's a classic hip hop.
I think that Barber
one of the
picture,
best southern hip hop albums for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Barber picture. What's that music video? He's like getting ready in the trailer and he looking at himself. I can't think of the song, but I think that might be what it's from, because like he in the trailer like doing push-ups, talking to himself, because you know he's about to go to jail, so he kind of like going back and forth. And I think that picture might have just been like a blooper behind the scene. Oh yeah, I could have just asked for the thing.
I'm the Vanna White. I'm gonna bring it to you, man. I'm gonna bring it to you.
Hey Phil, come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a mint too.
I don't. I don't think it's one of these, but there's a song that picture looked like it was real familiar though, for sure. But yeah.
Is he still active?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's doing more like podcasting, TV. I went to a podcasting event in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and he was on a panel there.
Really?
That's fire.
Doing that. So
that's crazy.
He's and his son's about to be in Chattanooga, by the way. Damani, he does rap. He's coming to Chattanooga. Well, cool. North Georgia, Fort Oak. But
I mean, basically chat. Basically chat.
He will be here in a couple weeks.
We'll take him.
So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, the legacy continues.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. And it's funny that happened because y'all were talking about that, and as y'all were talking about him being Van Halen's son, I was thinking about how different he was, and I actually thought about this because Damani is different from T.I. when it comes from hip hop. Like he's more like trap street. He's got more pop records as he got as a bigger artist. There's some Rihanna stuff on there.
Yeah.
But Damani is more like alternative hip hop. Like he's like very softer in tone.
Dude, the fusion of alternative into hip hop is kind of crazy to me, but I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah. It's cool. So it's cool that was a transition that y'all did. That's cool.
So since you're a fan of this album, do you have a song that you think we should play?
All of them.
Let me see it before because there's one of my favorites is definitely the intro. I'm Illy, but. Swagger Like Us is a classic. I feel like that got to be put on. And then if y'all want to do another one, put on I'm Illy #2.
Okay, you got it.
Those my two.
And this is what's her name?
MIA.
MIA. Yeah. Did we get the Trey rating?
Trey, what do you think?
Oh,
nice.
Smart man.
9.
Smart man.
He gave it a 9.
Smart man.
We'll probably just get through 4.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this sound.
This is a little bit different.
I think Kanye did this beat.
Yeah.
Sounds experimental.
It sounds like
was
Kanye.
for that time period for
I
sure.
think this is Kanye.
Yeah.
Mr. West is in the building, swagger on 100,000 trillion.
Auto-tune is crazy.
And you said I'm Illy?
Yeah. I'm Illy's the intro.
Every time I breathe on the track, I ask for a jacket. Why you so thankful? Why you gotta have Hella rich, never have to sell her again. Must I tell her again?
Oh, it's a clean version. That's great.
Check I'm on some next level. Never been in the game.
You gotta hit a progression on this.
Out my element, barely out together with 1 foot out and 1 foot in. Intelligent as fellas get. Listen, let's settle it. Be clear. I can fall back 7 years. Still, it ain't no one ahead of me. Consider it a blessing if you next to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like that, like mid to late 2000s rap, man. It's just like, and this is kind of that time where hip hop and rap kind of took over the music scene.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Like alt and stuff like
Outkast,
Nelly,
50.
and like it
was all around that same time,
and it stayed there.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, it still dominates a lot of the market when it comes to music. But.
Yes. OTI.
All right, so this will probably be our last one.
All right,
and this one's going to be a little bit of the wild card. So,
okay,
I know, right? What is happening here?
So,
all right.
Okay. So good luck on telling me what genre or what this sounds like.
Good luck. That's what we did. All right.
Interesting.
So
That's all I've got for you guys.
Just pull it out. Why not? You can't break it.
It's pretty boring. Yeah. So this one's purely the cover. It's purely the cover.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, to be honest, I have no idea what genre this would be.
So there is probably a hint in the top. I think it's the top left-hand corner. It should say Bob and Tom on there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
May they rest in peace.
Are they not?
I don't know.
No, I think so. It's a radio show that Bob and Tom have. I'm just going to leave it at that, but it's actually still on the radio today.
Is it
Really?
This came out. This cover, this album came out in 1987.
Hey, that's my year.
Hey, there you go.
Full circle.
Full circle.
I was sick that day, though. I don't know.
I'm definitely
buddy.
confused.
My first thought is like, is this a political record?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Okay.
For those that are going to dig into it, there's a name on the back that may give away what this is. I'm going to tell you what name, but there is a name that may give away.
Still don't got nothing.
Still got
I want to look back again.
I mean, if it's from 1987, a bunch of
Oh,
us
yeah,
are
I'm
just
doomed if it's from back then.
too young to.
right.
I don't know.
I really can't give you any information about it
Bud Light is on it. That's for sure.
without giving away.
What year did you say it come out?
1987.
7.
Certain material on this recording may be objectionable to some listeners.
That's interesting.
You've been warned.
Yeah. Iggy, where were you in 1987?
I wasn't even thought about, my man. I was 1990. That's when I was born.
1990.
Yeah,
I got you by a year. 89.
Yeah, I got a little bit of 80s in me, but not much.
Yeah.
It's mostly 90s.
Wow. You're on the cusp.
Yeah.
What a shame.
I mean, I got a little bit. That's why I like my dad was he's big musician, so like Van Halen kind of came.
We got to get your dad on the show.
He'll talk to you now.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I'm into hip hop at all. He put me on the
I
LL
love
Cool
that.
J, Run DMC,
Yes.
Sugar Hill Gang, all that.
We need to do a show on those albums.
Absolutely. Don't
Yeah.
do some of them because Houdini and Sugar Hill Gang got some questionable album covers.
Yeah. Run DMC, though, the icons with the hats, the chains,
Yeah.
Very
and didn't they call those doo-doo ropes back in the day? They were
Dookie ropes.
Dookie ropes.
Yeah, doo-doo. You close.
My bad. That's the guttural way to call them. Doo-doo rope. It's a dookie rope. All right. Well, I did live in L.A. for a while, and I swear to God they call them doo-doo ropes out there.
They might have. I only know because it comes from New York. That's where
Yeah.
they're rocking with. So
But they're fashion too. Like we should even do a show on fashion because like with the Adidas, bro, they like broke Adidas. I
yes,
think
they did. They did. The jumpsuits and the shelter and the Kango hats.
Are there only 2 remaining members left?
Yeah, Jam Master Jay got killed.
That's right, at the studio, man. Somebody shot him. I hate that stuff, man.
Yeah. It wasn't even. It was some. I don't think it was necessarily him that was in. I think it just happened to be something going on.
Wrong place.
Wrong place,
Yeah,
wrong time.
wrong place, wrong time. New York, man, it's a great city, dangerous place at times.
It is.
And I'm sure some people will get this, but bonus points if you can tell me what album cover it's parodying. Parodying?
Oh yeah.
The-
You're right. Parodying.
There's a famous album that this is a parody
I
of.
know who it is. I don't know the album name.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the same.
Y'all know who it is. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, bring it back.
I told you there was going to be a wild card.
This
And if anybody,
I think I might have got a vibe. We'll see.
who wants to go first?
Sydney, you're going first.
All right, great. So like no clue what genre. I was gonna say like classic rock, but at the same time, I don't think that's it. I don't think so. I gave it a 5.
Okay.
I think there's definitely more story behind the front cover. I'm not sure about the back cover, unless it's a picture of everyone who participated in making the record. That would be really neat. I have no clue like who it might be or anything besides Bob and Tom. I don't really know.
I like the way you said it was political.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot.
All the imagery.
Yes, all the imagery there. Plus you have like the footballer in the back. You've got yeah. I think there's a lot of like hidden symbolism even in some of the writing and the words behind the scenes like in this drawing. But that's why I was like, I don't want to give it such a low rating because I really appreciate it whenever artists, if this is something political, like they're trying to be advocates and activists in some form or trying to say something important based on what's happening within society at that time. But yeah, at the same time, also just very confused because I had no idea, which is why I'm like, I'm going to give it a 5, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm very interested and intrigued by it, though. It makes me want to do a lot more research on it.
And genre, you have no idea genre.
Literally no idea.
All right.
None. Okay. It's going to be fun. I wonder if it's going to be something where it's very obvious to what it is.
Yeah.
No, same. Yeah, so...
Oh, gosh. Boy, that hurts.
Question mark.
No.
Yeah, I have also no idea what genre this is.
What, is that a 7 at the bottom?
Okay, so...
I thought it was 4 divided by 7.
No.
Minus 7.
4 divided by 7.
No, so 4 just because, like, I personally wasn't a fan of the design, but you also pointed out that if they're bringing out a lot of, like, political subjects, then I would appreciate that. And my answer after knowing that would be 7.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're changing the game now, actually. We're changing the rules. We're going to change our answers.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a first round rating and then a second round
Yeah,
rating
right.
after you know the details.
Only after I know the details, that's when it counts.
Yeah.
You're locked into that 4, though.
All right, Brent, what you got?
I gave it a 3.
Owie. Ow.
I guess, I don't know.
3 today.
Yeah. I'm very critical, I guess.
I love the honesty over here. Thank you.
So I went with a genre that's not an actual genre, but I just thought I would take a shot in the dark that it's like a parody album.
Yeah.
Like a Weird Al style thing,
Okay.
which wouldn't necessarily conform to any genre because it would be copying a series of different songs. So I don't know, just because I guess maybe I thought that because the cover is a parody of
Abbey Road.
Beatles. There's my bonus points.
There it is.
You win.
Brent gets 10,000 points.
All right. That's all I got.
That's all you
I
got?
don't have anything to say about it. I gave it a 3. I don't love it.
Yeah, that's a 3.
Oh, well, actually, let me add. The one thing I will say about it is like, the Beatles' Abbey Road is probably one of the most like iconic album covers of all time. So I'm not sure that doing a parody of that is the greatest idea. I don't know what their motives are behind doing that, but it's just like maybe rip off a different cover. So that's kind of why I gave it the low score, because I'm just like, let's just leave Abbey Road alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gave it a 6.
All right. Come on.
Once I kind of honed in on the fact that this is like I wouldn't say parody, but comedy. I gave it rock. I think there's some music elements in there, so I gave it some comedy rock. 1986. Okay. I actually saw George Lopez's name on there, which is the comedy. I was like, all right. And then it's also that's what it gives. You know what I mean? Like you got the people walking the Abbey Road crosswalk are very comedic. Even though they're clearly politically, there's some enforcement of political ties there. But I also feel you on ripping off Abbey Road. I think it's been ripped off a lot already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody rips it off. So seeing it kind of turns down everybody. Even though this was 1986, I'm sure it did the same day, and everybody's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if you listen to it and it's like, maybe it's a little deeper than the album. It's tied to Bud Light, so there's like some clear sponsorship there. Yeah, I mean, which is like crazy for the 80s that you have a Bud Light album. So that's why I feel like it's like, there's some like political comedy. Like there's like a bigger message within that than versus a cover. And I feel like that's why I gave it a 6. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I did appreciate some of those elements to it. So that's why I gave it a 6.
Yeah.
All right, so I gave it a 5, and I got a bunch of question marks on mine. I was looking at it, and I was like, I see a little classic rock. Then I was like, okay, or alternative, or jazz. Yeah. Then I was like, it might be a little funky too. Like, I don't know. Then I just started putting the question marks. So I was like, this point, I really just don't know what to expect. That's really why I put a 5. I'm kind of lost for words. Like, I don't really know where I'm supposed to go with this. Like, on the front or the back. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's good music, but based off the cover, that is something that I would definitely just put down and like look over. So I'm not trying to like be mean or nothing like that. 'Cause, like, people can say that about my music too, but
no, they don't.
Come on, man.
Nah, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to hear it though for sure. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, so Iggy, you did find the clue. It is comedy, and I'm going to spare you guys because it is. It's pretty raunchy. It's pretty bad. So Bob and Tom is like it's a comedy show, and it's like a call-in, and there is some musical elements. They like these comedians, I believe, come on and they sing these songs, and some of them are really horrible. But it's all, they talk about news, sports. Again, they bring on celebrity guests and comedians and stuff like that. So it's a comedy album. That was the wild card because. I'm glad a couple of you guys kind of had that parody comedy. You were on the right track.
Once I kind of aligned to that, I was like, because this can't be no serious.
No way. Not with that cover.
And I couldn't.
No serious album.
I listened to one side of it, and it was really hard to listen to one side of it. I was trying to figure out like what the tie was to like Abbey Road or
Probably
any
none.
of these. It's probably in there somewhere, but it
Probably
was
somebody's favorite album.
It was rough. It was really rough. There's a reason it's not on iTunes.
I honestly think they used the Abbey Road because of the time, 1986.
Probably.
You're gonna draw people. You see that? Oh, they're like,
and that's the reason why I picked it up because I'm like,
Exactly.
I was like, I have no idea what this is, but I know it's Abbey Road, and it looks kind of crazy, and it is crazy.
And the mascot for Bud Light in this era was Spuds McKenzie. I guess it's like a Australian dog, this terrier. And he was in like all the commercials, and it was always Spuds McKenzie with Bud Light getting hammered. And
interesting.
I didn't even see the dog. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's here. That's his little
stuff to look at.
Icon.
I saw him, but I didn't pick that. I didn't know that was.
I was just confused.
Bud Light presents. Yeah, this is definitely. I would pass this over. I know I'm not on the panel. I hate this thing.
I feel that. I feel
And I'm from 1987. I'm like, why'd you have to pick something that misrepresents my year when I went to prom and graduated high school? You pulled that out of the bin. Out of all the damn choices you had from 87. Shit, you had Thriller. You had Duran Duran. You had so many options.
Oh man. Trey, do we have a score from you on this? Perfect.
Zero. That's a zero. He canceled it out.
Well, guys, that's it. I think we are out of time. But thank you for your thoughts. I love just hearing the different perspectives and how you guys were looking at the colors and the elements and wanting to know more about the albums. It's just cool to hear. I know I look at album covers a certain way, but to hear like each and every one of you and kind of how you were processing and picking up stuff was really, really awesome. So Phil, you got any last words?
Yeah, I do. I'm just wondering, like, because it's so cool. It's like a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Does it make you think about your own projects, like future projects, like what you might do,
definitely.
or maybe how does it hit you? Like, what are you going to do in your next project?
I mean, most of my project covers are of me. But they all tie into the element of the album or EP I'm working on. One, I had Black Shakespeare. It's called Black Shakespeare EP, and I actually copied Shakespeare's pictures just with me.
That's cool, yeah.
So like the cover was me, like
cool.
he's leaning on like a desk with like a pencil and a pad, and it's me with like dreads, you know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah.
Like doing that, and then I had like another one where it's like a close up of him, like he had like a pen. and he like a close up look. So I did another one like that. So it was pretty cool. And then so I try to think about that. So I'm more inclined to like Paper Trail would be something similar to what I would do. Although I appreciate like Radiohead, I love abstract. I feel like that's not really me as an artist. So I wouldn't want to give that out. And then you get to the music and it's like not that. You know what I mean? So,
not what I was expecting.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I think about it.
How about anyone else? Any closing thoughts, like how you might approach your next project with art or design? Sydney?
I love you. Point me out. No, yeah, I think right now we've been releasing like singles, and the way that I'm going about this is like, and I'm the one designing a lot of the cover art for it. Each one to me, I sit down and I listen to this song after it's done for a couple of times or a handful of times. And then I'm like already creating this design or what it looks like in my head. And it's because we're ranging from so many different genres. It all just depends. And so all of the artwork, if you look at on Spotify or something, they all look completely different. Like there are like different genres. And so I think when it comes to like this moving forward, it's like, how can I grab even more of those elements and say like, sometimes there doesn't have to be any consistency.
Right.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it literally just is like, how do you feel when you're listening to this?
Yes.
And how can you bring that forth into letting people like have that same vision? Like, what are you trying to go for? But at the same thing, it's art too. So like sometimes people are going to look at it and they're going to be like, I'm thinking about something completely different. And like, that's what's so cool about it. So you see a lot of this in like the element of sitting down and talking with other artists about like, it's just really cool to see how other people just see other people's art.
Yeah.
And I think, isn't your goal too as an artist, you want someone to pick it up if they're doing a physical, or even if they're cruising through Spotify, you want it to be engaging cover art, right? It's got to be. I mean, you only got one shot, really.
That's true.
That's it. Yeah, for real.
You got one shot.
One shot. If I don't like
One opportunity.
it's over.
What do you think, Finding Zero?
I like the abstract one, and then I like the T.I., like where it's got like a symbolic message behind it.
Yeah.
I feel like some of my songs, I have certain covers that show you like, yeah, this is what you're going to hear. And then I got a certain, because a lot of my music is freestyle, so sometimes when I do my covers, I try to do the same thing, like not think too much about it, but still be able to convey the same message, like through the picture, or if I'm not in the picture myself, I want you to see something, kind of like the Radiohead one where it's like black and white and gray, and then you think you see something, you look this way, it's something else, and then you listen to the song, it's like, oh, well, that's because I'm getting all these opinions and perspectives at once. So I feel like either or, it just depends on the song I'm making. And like she said, like when you just listen to the song, you kind of figure out like, all right, I think I can see this, or I imagine this, or a song can be so many different opinions, like you're overthinking it to where you just start drawing stuff out, and then you're like, wait, that's actually kind of cool too. So I think it just depends on the song and the message and what you're trying to put out. So yeah.
Brent, you want to take us home?
Yeah, I was actually going to just throw a shameless plug for my buddy over here. If you guys don't know, Josh does album art. So my plan is if I do ever release any more of my own music, I just call Josh and I'm just like, help, man. And I've seen him like through the years working in my studio. I would send my customers his way just because I know that he would like take care of them and do a really good job. And I've watched him go through like really quick designs that turn out great. And I've watched him go through stuff that's like carried out over weeks and months, and he ends up like the cover that gets released as like plan Y, like it's that far down the list of going back and forth with people. And I just like there was a long time that I did my own like graphic stuff, and then like once I met Josh, I'm just like, I'm never gonna do it again, because I just know that he's gonna like put probably more time and effort and expertise into it than I can do. So he's done a lot of really good stuff for me and for other friends. So that's my plan. If for whenever my next thing comes out, is talk to Josh.
I appreciate that, and I didn't pay him to say that either. No, sure. He actually gave me my first album cover job. He's like, "Hey, I've got this song I'm dropping. I can't pay you anything, but do you want to do it?" And it was awesome. He trusted me before I knew what I was doing. So really cool. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Trey, thank you very much. Thanks for
thank you, Wavelength.
Thank you, Wavelength, for letting us hang out longer than we're supposed to. To all you guys, we say thank you. Phil, appreciate you and your Vanna White skills today. And there will be a blog post. I'm going to have links, bios to everybody that's on the panel here, so you can check them out. You can find their music, check out their Patreon. Follow them, like what they're doing, and go out and support them. So from us, this has been the first pro panel, and we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Proud member of the Podnuga Network.